Today we're reading Mickey's Christmas, Storybook, Treasury, and it's called Huey, Dewey, and Louie's. The boys chatted merrily all the way downtown. Before Donald even realized what was happening, they stared him down the street. excitedly. He hurried downstairs. When Donald reached the living room, he saw the boys staring out the window. "Look, Uncle Donald," they shouted. Huey, Dewey, and Louie jumped up and down excitedly. Donald smiled and hugged his nephews. Santa had seen what good boys they'd been and left them a special present. Together, they all ran outside for a Christmas morning ride. The end.
Shout, hooray, hooray! Okay, now we're gonna say Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.